If you've been looking for a sign or motivation or that next little step that you think that you need in order to start or keep going with your project, whatever that might be, weight loss, starting your business, or maybe a new hobby, then this is the video or a sign for you. Hello, my name is Silla, and in this video I'm going to share with you some tips and mind tricks that I have used to keep myself going, to keep the momentum going when I don't feel like I want to do the next step that I need to do in order to get some project that I have going. A while ago I realized or noticed that I don't have the motivation to start or keep going with my projects. I felt that I am in this comfortable bubble, which I think a lot of the viewers right now are in as well. We live in a comfortable world. We live in a very comfortable society where everything is very reachable, affordable. You can order everything via your phone. You can go to the shop, to the grocery store, and get whatever you need, whatever you feel like you want, you crave. Clothes are very cheap. You can have a job behind the computer and not even leave your house, which is where I am as well. So at one point I realized I have a very good life. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I have a good life. I can travel whenever I want because I'm location free. I can eat whatever I want. I can sleep in a warm house, in a warm bed. I can do basically whatever I want, and I don't have this craving to survive, as to say, because when in the cave age, people had the craving to survive because there was a lot of adversity. You have all these threats by animals and nature, and you had to survive. Nowadays, we don't have to survive. We have a good life, but we get threats from everywhere anyway. Our bodies are still made up that way, that they try to survive, keep us surviving, even though the threat that we're getting is not actually a threat to our lives, like the threats that we get via our phones, or the stress that we get at work, or the problems and the challenges that we face with our friends and family. All of that is still a threat. It's still a stress for our body, and our body doesn't know the difference between a tiger in the woods or a fight that we have with our spouse or coworker. And that is why we are all kind of living a comfortable life, but also in a very stressful environment in our head. And on top of that, we have the social media, the scrolling, the smartphones that I talked about in my last video. That is where we go to escape. We escape from that stress, from that adversity, and then we see other people's good, fancy, expensive lives, and then we see also all these tips and tricks and new apps and programs that could help us work towards our goal, our project, and then we scroll between all those fancy things and all those interesting things, and then also some entertaining things, thinking that we're consuming something that we need to get going, but we never actually do, because adversity feels hard for us. But also the social media and the scrolling, who does that, maybe you do, it makes us feel numb. So we have this pile of different things happening, and then we feel bad that we don't start, or we don't stick to our project, we don't stick to the promises that we have made for ourselves. Like who knows that you've given the New Year's resolutions for this year, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna become this and da 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 da, and then it all fades away in a few weeks. I think we have all been there at least once in our lives, and that happens because you are not a new person after one night of thinking something. You might have the discipline or the resilience this time because you have maybe thought about it years and years, and this time you actually decide that this is it, now I'm gonna do it. But for most of the people, that is not the case. And this is what this video is about. I try to not make it too long. The difference between people who are successful at what they want to achieve and the people who aren't successful is very simple. It basically all comes down to the actions that you do and the things that you believe or don't believe. Basically, a resilient person is the person that gets the thing going and that gets out of the comfort zone and that gets out of the bed in the morning, and a not resilient or undisciplined person is the one that doesn't. But that doesn't mean that the undisciplined or the non-resilient person is a bad person or that there's something wrong with them or you. Nope, that is not the case. The things that I talked about before, the social media, the stress and the comfortable life, they're very hard for us. And in this situation, it feels like I just want to go scroll, or maybe, I don't know, play video games or do whatever people are doing to get themselves out of the stressful situations in their lives. Starting a new project is also a stressful situation. So it's easier to go and escape instead of start a new project or do the next step, because we are not the person that would do the next step. So this is a very maybe a strange concept, but it is working for me, and I see that it works as well for other people that are around me, that you have to believe it before you actually believe it. If that makes sense. You have to believe that you can achieve the thing that you want to achieve before you actually achieve it. It's like when you plant a seed in the soil and it takes loads of days or weeks or even years for it to grow into a beautiful plant, into a beautiful tree. That is how we should also look at the projects that we want to accomplish, like learning a new skill or starting a business or starting a YouTube channel. It all takes time, and it will all be difficult sometimes. It'll be hard sometimes, and that is what we need to understand, and that is what we have to knock into our heads, that adversity is a part of life. You have to do it before you feel like you want to do it, because what I have learned is that action is cure for everything. Action is proof that you are actually capable of doing what you want to do. I think it was it was Mel Robbins who said in her video that when you get the seed of an idea, it came to you because you were able to accomplish it. So now you just have to start figuring out what are the next steps that you need to step. So you have this dream, you have this goal, and then you're like, but it's so big. I don't know where to start. I don't know how long it will take. Maybe nobody will like what I want to do, or maybe I won't achieve it. Maybe I will fail. Everyone has those doubts. Everyone thinks that way. It's normal because you have never done this before. So the best advice in this whole video is basically you just have to start doing. It is very helpful to understand what is stopping you, and I'll probably make another video about how to understand more about what fears we might have or what traumas we might have from childhood or whatever, to understand what's keeping us from taking the next step. But from my experience and from my friends' experiences as well, I know that you don't have to know the fear. You can still do the next step and believe that this is going to get to something, even though you might not get the results in a day, in a week, or even a month. Because every person starts from zero. They start from not knowing how to do it, not knowing when to do it, not knowing how long it will take them to achieve whatever they want to achieve, but they still do it. Like, we are all born with nothing. We don't know how to do anything when we are born. And the older we get, the more we lose the childish wonder about how to explore things, which I talked about a bit in my last video. And we start to fear, we start to find faults in ourselves, and we should learn that life is a game. I'm not an expert at it yet, but I see how much that changes how I see things and how I accomplish things. Is that everything that I do is just like a trial. Like, I will do something and then I'll see what happens next, because I'm doing everything that I'm doing for myself. Even when the project is going to help other people, that's great. But everything that I do is for myself, and it's feedback for myself on how to get better, on how to experience the life that I am trying to make for myself. So the fears are normal, the doubts are normal, the friction that you get with starting something new or keeping on to what you're doing, that is normal. If you need, take a red pen and write it on a big sheet of paper and put it on the wall to remind yourself that hardship and adversity are a normal part of our lives. You just have to figure out what makes you tick, where you don't want to do the next step, where you want to go and escape. You have to realize that moment and then do the other thing, do the important thing, do the next step instead of escaping, instead of, I don't know, eating, for example, doing whatever. You have to make it into a habit of understanding when you are about to think about doing the next step or when you're gonna actually do the next step, that when you are gonna avoid or escape doing the next step. Like if you've made yourself a promise, for example, to do a new video every Sunday, or to work an hour on your project every day, or go to the gym 3 times a week, and you put them in the calendar, in your schedule, and when the time has come up and you are going to have to do it, you have to see into yourself and ask yourself, is the next thing that I'm going to do, instead of the thing I promised myself to do, going to help me to achieve the goal that I want to achieve? Like, if you said you're going to go to the gym and then you're like, oh, but I don't feel like it, or I had a really rough day today and I deserve to stay home and like eat ice cream or whatever, then are you going to get to your goal? Probably not, because you are not the person that goes to the gym. You are the person that doesn't stick to the promises that they give to themselves. So just take a moment and think, do I want to become that person that goes to the gym, for example? Because you are not that person right now, but if you go to the gym, you're going to be that person, and you have to believe yourself to be that person before you actually do the thing that makes you believe that you are the person. This is a scary concept, I know. It's maybe silly, but this is just how it works. You don't believe that you can do it before you do it. Action is proof, even though it's a slow proof. Because successful people, and I don't mean successful in the sense that we're all millionaires or billionaires, I mean successful in whatever they want to achieve. Successful people understand that getting forward is not about finding motivation. It's not watching motivational videos or reading quotes or etc. It's understanding that the pain of not achieving it is bigger than the pain of doing what you need to do in order to achieve it. And successful people know that the only person that they are actually fighting against is not other people that are doing the same thing in the same area. It's only us. It's only the past version of ourselves that is stopping us from being the person that we want to become. And I mean, we all have self-doubts. They have self-doubts. I have self-doubts. But there is a cure for self-doubt, and that is taking one step at a time every day. That is taking action every day. It's like with eating. In order to live, in order to survive, you have to eat 3 times a day. That's how it works with self-motivation, self-doubt, self-acceptance, and success. You have to do something every day or every other, whatever, how many times you need to do it in order to succeed in what you want to succeed. It's pretty simple, but also not, because you have to take the next step. The only person that you have to compete with is you. You are the only obstacle standing in the way of the success that you want to achieve. I am very sure that you already have all the knowledge and all the skills to do the next steps that you need to do. Even if you don't know everything, you can learn on the way. Because most of us get stuck in this trap of perfectionism because we have so much information on the videos, on the articles, on the books, in the books, and we still think that there is something missing before we can start. But that is not true. Even if it is true, the thing that helps us to get to what we want to achieve is just to start doing and learn on the way. There's gonna be mistakes anyway, there's gonna be failures anyway. I mean, the last time I recorded my video, it took me 3 hours to create the 20-minute video. And you just have to keep going because you're not going to be perfect at it. You're not going to be good at it when you start. You learn on the way. And when you accept that this is how life works, that is so empowering because then you see, oh, I did this wrong. That's pretty funny. How can I do it better? Or I failed at this and maybe somebody laughed at me, maybe somebody saw, maybe somebody commented. But usually when someone else comments on anyone else's failures or mishaps, that is a reflection on themselves about what they feel they can achieve maybe, or they're just jealous. But that what other people say about us has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with them. And when we know what we want to achieve, and when we become that person in our heads before we are actually that person, these things at one point are not gonna distract us or derail us at all because we are on our mission. We are doing and achieving our thing, and there is nothing that can stop us. And for me, it feels very empowering. It feels like I'm Wonder Woman or something because I am in control of my life. A few years ago, when I thought about this concept, that was really scary because to be in charge of your own life feels like it's so huge. It's like, oh my God, I have to figure out everything. I have to do everything. And then when at one point I was like, no, but I have to do everything. I get to do everything. I can figure out everything. And that doesn't mean that we do it all by ourselves, but we are the starters of our initiative. We are in charge of our lives. We are the driver in the driver's seat of the fancy car that is our life. So the 3 traits of resilient or disciplined people are very simple and they go together with everything that I just said. But to put it into a conclusion is, the first thing is that they understand that hardships and adversity and failures are a normal part of everyone's life. Not just their lives, not just my life, but everyone's life. Everyone is going through hard things, and that is normal. Which takes us to the next step, is that understanding that failure or hardship is a normal part of life, it gives me control. Resilient people know that they have the choice to choose where they put their focus on. Do they focus on the hard thing or the bad thing that has happened or might happen? Or do they focus on the good thing that is coming with the bad thing, or that could come out of doing the thing that we want to achieve? For example, the gym example, that when you only focus on, oh, I don't know what to do in the gym, I'm so big, I'm afraid to go there, I don't want anyone to see me, what will they think of me, then you might never go to the gym. On the other hand, you might find something good in it, is that, okay, but if I don't want to go to the gym, but I still want to work out, maybe I should work out at home at first. Maybe I should watch some YouTube videos and work out after these. You find a way to do what you want to do. So you are in control of what you think and what you choose to put, where you choose to put your focus on. So resilient people don't put their focus on the negative, they put focus in the positive, or the thing you can do, the thing you can control, the thing you can choose to move forward, instead of the thing you can't. And the third thing is that they ask themselves, is the next thing that I'm going to do right now, is it helping me or is it harming me? And that comes up in every situation. It's not just about achieving some project or your ideal weight, but it comes up in every situation. If I choose to dwell on how bad I am at making YouTube videos, then I will never make them. But if I choose to think, I'm gonna do that next video and see how that goes, and then I can improve on that, this is the non-harmful way of thinking. So you always have the option of taking like a step back, maybe breathe for a moment, or like make it a habit to check in with yourself when you're about to do something that you in the back of your head know that maybe you should not be doing, and be like, this is harming me, this is not taking me closer to my goal, so maybe I should switch that and do whatever possible, maybe even small change in my mindset, or maybe a small step that I can do towards achieving my goals. Because as I said somewhere in this video as well, action cures everything. I have seen that so many in my life. I mean, physical action, when you feel bad, when you feel lazy, when you feel lousy, moving, walking, maybe doing some stretches, that is a very good cure to start feeling better. But also action in taking one step towards whatever you want to achieve, because then when you have achieved that step, it makes you feel like you have actually achieved something already. You have already done something, and that gives you a little bit of proof that you are capable of achieving the thing that you want to achieve, because you have already made the first step. So whatever project or business or hobby or idea, whatever you are working on in your mind, mostly probably, think about what is the next step that you need to do, and write it in the comments and tell us, the viewers, when you will be doing it. Or if you plan on doing it constantly, write out a schedule and maybe come back in a week or two or some months and say how you did, how you've been keeping up. Because when we stick together, when we help each other, when we use each other as accountability partners, it's so much easier to stick to our goals. And then let's see what happens. So I wish you all the best. I hope you got some new inspiration and ideas from this video, and if you liked it, like it, share it, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!